How many all-time highs has the S&P had so far in 2024? I'm going to give you a hint for reference. 2021, there were 70 all-time highs. 2020, there were 33. How many have we had coming into today, not including today?
Anton, you want to try to give it first guess?
Well, it's been only half the year, less than half the year. So you said 20. You said how much in 2020? You said
2020, there were 33 in all of the year. In 2021, there were 70.
I'm gonna say 30.
I'm gonna go a little higher and say like 45.
It's 28. 28 all-time highs coming into today. Very nicely done, Anton. Do you see how I didn't do this shocked face that you got close like you did when I had a correct answer? You see how that works?
I didn't know that mine was such a specific question. You know what I mean? Like,
just kidding with you.
You
all right,
faked
gentlemen.
You faked me out with giving us the 71 first time. You know, like, 'cause I figured it was going to be real high. You faked me out. I wish you never would have told me that.
Cognitive bias trick I threw in there by throwing 2021.
You did good.
It's a total anomaly.
Yep.
I'm surprised you fell for that, Tony, honestly. I thought you were better than me.
You've worn me down, Anton. This is my 4th day with you. You've worn me down. What can I tell you?
All right, real quick. I'm going to go rapid fire on 3 quick topics. The first one is Miss Nancy Pelosi. I don't know why you guys are working so hard trying to figure out which way this market is going. I don't know why you're working so hard trying to figure out IVRs and where you want to sell vol and bonds up, down. You guys are listening to the FOMC press conference for what? Gentlemen, I have good news. We have another ETF that is about to launch, NPEL. What a brilliant ETF ticker, by the way. Going to be launched by Tuttle Capital Congressional Trading ETF. It's not live yet. It should be live somewhere around August 26, 2024. It's the third of these ETFs that are tracking our congressional members. It's going to charge about 75 basis point fee, and it's choosing its stocks based on congressperson seniority, involvement in committees, and the stock's historical performance.
When this bull market ends, these congressional geniuses will end also. Now, they're still going to probably do good, and they may even beat the market, but this bull market's saving a lot of people, and it's making for some really sensational headlines. But I am in the camp of my son, Nick. There's some shenanigans going on, and it's bull crap, and they should not be able to trade on things that they vote on and control.
You don't think so, Tony? Why not? That seems like such a controversial take.
It's not. I think it's the public take. It's not Tom's take. Tom's take is fine. Let them do whatever they want.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No. Oh my God. Okay, actually, that doesn't surprise me because Tom.
Yeah, exactly.
Well said.
If you wanted some previous performance metrics, there are 2 of these, as I mentioned, already out there. It's NANC, another clever ETF ticker for Nancy. That is the subversive Unusual Whales Democratic ETF. Year to date, coming in today, it was up 14%. SPY was up 11%, so it outperformed. And over a year, it's up 33% versus 28% for the SPY. And that's the Democratic ETF. There is a Republican version, Cruz, KRUZ. So if you want, you want gains without all the hassle, Tony. Why are we doing all this work?
Yeah,
Why are we doing all this work, man?
In a bull market, it makes a lot of people and a lot of things seem quite, genius. So I'll leave it right there.
Now,
I'm just kidding.
I don't know, but do they have to report what they buy as soon as they buy it, or do they have like a window after?
They have a window. So there's something called the Stock Act, Anton, the Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge Act, which is hilarious that we had to pass that. In that act, it outlines the reporting requirements for congressional members, and there is a window. I have argued that there should be pre-announcement requirements so that if there is any alpha, the market will eat it all up. But, we're not there yet.
I don't like when you screw with Mother Nature kind of thing. So for me, if I'm on the airline committee, I should not be able to have any airline positions in my portfolio that I control prior to any type of meeting, whether that be a month or two prior to. That's the way it should be. And let markets be fair and equitable for everybody.
So, Anton, I agree with that. Anton, Tom is so against this. He thinks that the performance of all these congressional traders is 100% random. So I wonder if you can come up with a study using Nancy, the ETF that's out there. Get Tom to put money where his mouth is.
Yeah, but her husband is a money manager, right? I mean, so he's going to say that she's worth $550 million because he's a really good money manager. Not because they made all their money in just like NVIDIA. Like that was just a coincidence. Yeah.
Well, take money,
okay,
Mr.
Listen,
take money.
we can do a study, but Tom's perception of all this, and I'm not sure if he's why he actually thinks he's serious or why. I mean, I don't try to figure Tom out because he said some stuff in the past that I'm just like, that just doesn't make any sense on any level. But then he starts laughing as if it's like funny, you know. So
hold on, he's texting me. He's texting me right now. You tell Anton S.
Oh, here it is. Here it comes. Okay. Well, what is it, Tony?
He's typing. It's coming in one word at a time. Go ahead.
But listen, everybody has their bias on markets, and I think sometimes you let the bias get to your head. So, for example, the more analytical you are, the more math heavy you are, the more you tend to believe that the markets are completely random, even though they're not, right? So, for example, maybe compared to me versus Jacob would probably think that the markets are literally a dice roll every single day. New dice roll, everything's independent. That's not empirically true, right? But because that's my lens, that's my claim. His lens is that, well, of course it's empirically true because based on every study that he has, done and based, that is empirically true from his lens. So again, it's the same. I think it's the same thing. From Tom's lens, it's empirically true because of his experience. But I don't think you can really, I don't think there's a clear right or wrong answer here, like objectively. But I do think that everybody has their own lens from which they look at these things. And that's why you can see some people say completely outlandish things, but I don't know, maybe to him what we're saying is outlandish. You know what I mean?
Do me a favor, Anton, because he's not, Tony talks to him about this subject. I talk to him about it. Everybody in this network has. He refused to change his position. If you come at him with some statistics, he might change his position. So do me a favor, take a look at Nancy Pelosi's performance, throw it in his face in a style that he might respect. Let me switch topics real quick before I get out of here. What do you do when the short seller gets bullish, gentlemen? Andrew left, if you don't remember him, the leader, the founder of Citron Research. He just currently bailed on his GME short. If you remember, he was the guy, he originally shorted GME, and they ran him out of that position super early. Before Gabe Plotkin, they ran Andrew Left out of his short position. He took on a short, this was maybe 5-6 days ago before their earnings announcement. He closed it out. He says it's profitable, but his reasoning was, I think, fairly interesting. He said in a tweet, despite Wedbush Citron is no longer short GME. It's not because we believe in a turnaround of the company fundamentals will ever happen, but the $4 billion in the bank, they have enough runway to appease their cult-like shareholders. Despite Wedbush setting an $11 target today, we respect the market's irrationality. After all, Dogecoin remains a $20 billion entity. While the increased share count might temper the mob mentality, Citron will be watching from the sidelines for now. By the way, the Kitty live stream was an insult to capital markets. So my question, gentlemen, when the bull gets bearish, they don't ring a bell, Tony.
No, they don't ring a bell.
When the bear gets bullish.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Yeah, the bear gets bullish, excuse me.
Yeah. When they don't ring a bell, or when the bear just gets out, right? I mean, they don't ring a bell, but it certainly seems like, and couple that with where the market is, right? We're at all-time highs, making new all-time highs. Just about every market is higher on most days when you look across the board here. It's been very broad-based. You would imagine that it would be time for a little bit of a breather. Now, I just said a moment ago when we had the opening bell that you really can't look for the top tick And you got to look at volatility. In my opinion, volatility sitting here at $14, basically unchanged. It's smooth sailing until volatility upticks. Volatility will show you the way. And this might be one of the things that, they look back on and say, well, that was your tell. But you can't, when it's happening, you can't say that that's the tell. I mean, this is what this really is nothing to do with the market and more about genius failing. You get too big in anything, you cannot hang on to the position. And here you have a professional trader that does it for a living, getting too big in one product, and you can't hang on to it. It's all about size. That's all. It's been that way since the dawn of time, whether it's been Jesse Livermore in his worst days, to a trader on the floor of the CBOE in the 80s and 90s, to a screen-based fund today in 2024. Size kills. That's all it comes down to.
It's funny to me when people say, you use the word irrational whenever describing their opinion or description of a stock, right? Because it essentially, what they're really saying is, my analysis doesn't agree with this price. So I'm going to call that irrational because there's no way I can understand this. So therefore it's irrational, right? Even though irrationality has nothing to do with the markets, never has. It's almost like, let me ask you a question. Why do people for some reason think that the stock has to be valued based on its fundamentals ever at any point in time, or pinned to its future fundamentals? Why is that something that we've created as a 100% default rule? And if anything is beyond that, then that's irrational. Who decided that? Is that how we decide value now? Because that's not how we trade as implied volatility traders. We don't trade like that. That's not how we decide value.
I'm with you 100%. I think I'm going to use a lame quote for a second, but I think it was Ben Graham who said markets in the short term are a voting machine, in the long term they're a weighing machine. In other words, in the short term, supply and demand are all that's matter. In the long term, maybe your fundamental or your price to book, your price to sales, your price to whatever matter. But in the short term, it's all about supply and demand. I couldn't agree with you more. The example I always give is, if you're the only person with an umbrella and it's raining, do you think the fair value of that umbrella matters? And it probably doesn't. Last thing I'll say before I get out of here talking about fair value, pay that man his money. I've been called a little bit of an Elon stooge lately, but you know what? If I woke up and I found out I was going to have $56 billion richer, I'd be feeling pretty good. And my Twitter posts would probably be super upbeat and uplifting. And I think if you look at Elon's tweets today, you can definitely tell his shareholders voted in favor of his $50-ish billion pay package. And you know what? They didn't have to, and I'm surprised that they did. But damn it, they made an agreement with him. And they're following through on that agreement. And if there's, with all the crazy shit happening in the world, at least the shareholders' word still mattered, and they came through. They paid him again, and they're moving their company from Delaware so that this doesn't happen again into Texas, which I think is obviously a smart move. Tony, you got a big smile on your face. I know you've been on this side of the coin. I'm going to let you say your piece before we get out of here. Yeah,
I have been on this side of the coin, and this is the first moment in this week that I've missed Tom, only for the 15 minutes that you've been on the show, because he's had the opposite viewpoint of everything that you've talked about. I think the three of us, have been on basically the same side of the coin for this discussion. But we'll toot our horn a little bit here. I mean, I'll go back, and I've said it before. You made this deal because it was so outrageous that the projection that companies make projections, but he said, if I do it, you pay me this. And it was so outlandish that they said, sure, we'll pay you whatever you want if you could do that, because we are going to benefit so much greater than you're going to benefit from it. Go hog wild and do it. And I said to Tom, I stared at him right in this studio. We were live on the studio. And I said, if he took a $5 billion company like the one that we have to the lofty level of where Tesla is now, 10 times that $560, $600 billion company, would you pay him what he wanted? He goes, yeah, I would probably make that deal. Of course you would. Pay the man his money. He deserves it.
Pay that man his money. Where's that quote from, Anton?
Oh, come on. That's not fair. You don't get to do that at the end of the show.
Oh, I thought. Oh, no, it's from Rounders, my man.
I don't
you know.
I didn't see a lot of the movies. Like if you
Oh, that's my bad.
Places quote, you know, now Tony's gonna tell Scott, and Scott's gonna laugh at me, and it's all gonna
No,
go down.
no.
No, we'll laugh at
This
you
is
long
clearly a
before that.
sensitive spot for you. I will never bring up movie quotes again. I thought you're a card player. I thought Rounders was in your wheelhouse. I thought I was setting you up with a nice, easy, softball on the way.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot that movie was. I watched a clip of that. I didn't see the full movie, but yeah, the Russian guy. Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Victor.
John Malkovich.
His wife won't let him watch that movie. We're going to take a quick 90-second break and come back. We got more Tasty Live after this. What do we got coming up next? We got a market measure. Good job, Victor.
Peace.